Okay, it's May 12th, and we're back at the original, the large tree, the mesquite tree that we cut down and stacked all of the fuel on top of it. Back in late November is when we burned it. And now we've gone through all of the spring flush and through the bud time. You can see we've got all of the switch mesquites out there have come up. So everything that's going to come up this year with respect to mesquites has already come up. And the interesting thing about this is, though we didn't burn the stump down to the ground like I had hoped, it appears that we certainly did do enough. There was enough heat to kill that bud zone down into the soil. So that's really good. And as we look at the other ones, we had a similar result there too. But as disappointed as I was after we blew all the ashes and looked at this one and the other ones, having not burned the stump down into the ground, I was really concerned that the bud zone down into the root was still going to be viable, but it appears that it's not. So let's go look at the other ones. Okay, so we're at the back of the property again, where we had 3 mesquites that we burned, but these didn't have near the fuel load that the other one up closer to the front of the property had. So this one was a small single stump mesquite, and I'm trying to look here. I think this is the stump here. Sorry about that. But anyway, again, this one I just stacked some fuel. I'll show some pictures of it just to refresh your memory on it. But again, even though the stump did not burn down below the soil level, it appears that there was enough heat to kill, or at least to render the sprout zone inviable. And as we look over here, there were actually a couple that we did. This one in particular was a larger stump that I think this one was cut when they did the right-of-way clearing. And again, you can see the stump there. And we didn't get burned down past ground level, but there's no sprouts coming up from it, which I'm really excited about. Again, we're in May now, and you can see here, this mesquite here and pretty much everywhere else, all of the mesquites have budded out. And this one in particular was one that I was a little bit suspect about, because if you recall, so we've got a stump here and then one here, and you can see with this one, my fuel source was actually closer to over here, so that one didn't even really get burned very well. And again, we've actually got a little bit of greenbrier coming up next to it, but that's not mesquite, so that seems to have worked. And then we'll swing over here to this one, where we're in the power line right of way. And again, this one, we just stacked fuel that was just trim from all of these other trees over here. And it was a fairly significant size stump. You can see put my hand there. So it's about the size of my hand, and ultimately it was about this size of foliar area when we started. And again, all I didn't cut any of the stems. All I did was just stack some deadwood and trim. And so this one probably got the least amount of heat of all of them, but you can see that there was obviously enough heat to kill the sprout zone. So that's really fantastic. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting about this, and I had understood it previously, you know, anywhere you do a burn pile, you're killing all the microbial activity in the soil. And I suspect that that's part of what's happening. That's why there's not really anything growing. It'll take a year or two for any of the grass to grow back, which is fine with me as long as we don't have mesquites coming up. So I think this may be a really viable alternative. So pretty exciting stuff.